One of the titles that I've wondered for a while now, guys, is a title that I've wondered what would, happen if they would have continued a certain sub-series, that being Ghost Recon, guys. Ghost Recon, obviously, we got a title in the form of Breakpoint, which obviously came out a couple of years ago back in 2019. But in particular, this series, or I should say this franchise, that being Ghost Recon, in a lot of ways I've felt was really beyond its time. And I'm not so much talking about the most recent of titles in the Ghost Recon universe, that being of course Breakpoint. I'm actually talking more about Future Soldier. Future Soldier, guys, was something really special to me back when this released in 2012. I remember coming out on the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3. This was a title that was awesome, guys. I mean, I absolutely loved it for really all of, what it all encompassed, the story, the storylines. It really felt like a third-person Call of Duty title that was futuristic, obviously, that had a lot of really cool elements to it. But it was another title, and it's interesting to me because the other title that I feel was beyond its time was another Tom Clancy title, being Tom Clancy's End War. I felt like End War, guys, was without question one of those games that was definitely beyond its time, just based on being able to make commands. I mean, we're talking a real-time strategy game on Xbox, right? So, I mean, you have your headset and you're giving commands to your army and such as you're, progressing through and you're playing against other teams and such. And obviously there were a number of issues within that title, but it was so beyond its time, and we still have not seen a title like that to this day. And I really would have loved to see a continuation of End War, but Future Soldier is very similar to this. Why haven't we gotten a continuation of Future Soldier in the Ghost Recon, series? I think that it was definitely beyond its time. The Tom Clancy titles that they have decided to make, that being Ubisoft, we're talking about like The Division. One of the titles I've been talking a lot on the YouTube channel I want to see return is Splinter Cell. That's one that I've wanted to see so badly continue at some form or another. Ubisoft has kind of decided to take the approach, maybe instead of Ghost Recon, they're moving in more of a direction, maybe, Rainbow Six, and you got Rainbow Six, Extraction coming out. So there's, obviously they're still working on some pretty awesome titles. It's just, why did they stop with Future Soldier? And a lot of it, guys, we've talked about it many times. There's two big things that really can make or break titles. One of them being the reception, two being the sales. And look, Ghost Recon, Future Soldier, overall, when I see the reception of it, I mean, on Metacritic, on Xbox 360, got a 79 out of 100. On GameSpot, gave it a 7.5 out of 10. IGN gave it an 8.5 out of 10. So the reception for it was pretty good. It was definitely above average. Wasn't perfect by any stretch, but no game is. But it still was a pretty awesome, tactical shooter. And I really feel that they could have, if they brought this style back, the Future Soldier style back to Ghost Recon, I really feel that this could be something very special, like a different style of gameplay and such that we have not seen before in gaming, but also obviously since Future Soldier, or even in esports. This felt to me, way back then, I said, man, this would be a really cool competitive title to play, but also to watch. And I believe that to this day. I feel that Future Soldier could be something very special in the esports realm, because you don't have very many third-person shooters that are esports titles. I mean, I thought that would be something very intriguing and interesting. You obviously have titles out there like PUBG and things of that nature, but I just feel that Future Soldier could have been very special. I really hope that they bring it back at some point. Glassy, obviously this is Future Soldier. I mean, it's got a place in my heart, for sure, because I just thought that, from the E3 that they showed, the promotion for this game at E3 of 2010 to when it was released, I just thought, wow, this is like, it was like the Call of Duty Modern Warfare, like almost like during that same time or even a little bit like before its time. And I just feel like it was so advanced. Are there games out there that you feel like they're beyond their time somewhat and actually hurt the title? Another one I'll give you an example of was Evolve. Evolve was a title that I felt like it was just beyond its time. It was Dead by Daylight before Dead by Daylight came out. And I feel like it just like had so many elements to it that were awesome. And obviously it was riddled with microtransactions and just problems that it lost its fan base so quickly. Not saying that's what happened here with Future Soldier, but what do you think about, like titles out there just in general? Like, are there a lot of titles that you feel like were beyond their time? Have you played Ghost Recon? And what do you think about them bringing back some of these classics at some point or another that may have been beyond their time?
I don't have a super whole lot of experience whenever it comes to Ghost Recon. I remember maybe the late Xbox, early through Xbox 360 days. My brother had the game and he was into that, and then I started kind of veering towards Call of Duty, and then he veered into Call of Duty. So it kind of makes me wonder if that's really one of the main reasons that game kind of started to go downhill, was the fact that their competition was stacking up against them pretty well. Call of Duty, especially in the Modern Warfare series, Call of Duty 4 and them, were really bringing in a large audience with their multiplayer, but also their great storytelling that they had. And now we've got Battlefield, which Battlefield kind of started off wonky, but they've since really built up an audience and built up a following that now Battlefield and Warzone, or Call of Duty in general, are just the big FPS shooters right now. You've got Rainbow Six and you've got everything else, but people are really focused on these two major titles, Battlefield and Call of Duty. Ghost Recon Future Soldier, it looks like back in 2011 in December, they PC version just canceled it. I guess they can't really cancel the disc whenever it comes to console version, but they canceled it, citing that piracy was one of the main reasons that they killed that game. And Ghost Recon Breakpoint apparently had a lot of known issues, which the updated March 5th of 2020, they had a long list of issues. Video memory crashing, the OPS Mark II standard helicopter missiles would stop locking on. They had so many issues, I'm guessing bugs in the coding, and either they didn't get them fixed, couldn't get them fixed, or there was not enough financial incentive to get them fixed, losing money to other titles.
Yeah. And look, all of the above, I think, is valid here, and it's really unfortunate. Well, Glassy, one of the things I wanted to ask you, do you think that there is a place where, not necessarily Ghost Recon, but, we've got the couple of titles that you brought up were Call of Duty and Battlefield, right? And they kind of like own the FPS. I mean, I guess you could say CS:GO and Valorant are all, very much so relevant as well. Sometimes even more relevant in certain capacities. But what about third person? So obviously Ghost Recon, Future Soldier being this idea of like this more third person centric style game. Do you think that there is an audience for something of that nature in the third person, shooter genre?
So there's always going to be an audience for something, whether it be a large audience or a small audience. So as for third person shooters, yes, there's going to be an audience for it, but with the way that games are coming out today and the cost to making them, whether they be millions, tens, or hundreds of millions of dollars to creating games, I don't think that they're going to see an ROI, which is return on investment. I don't think that they're really going to see that with a small group of people that love third-person shooters. A lot of people are aiming more towards first-person. If they start creating a first-person shooter, they might build up a bigger audience or give you the option to do third or first-person. That would definitely build your audiences up, but a lot of people are aiming towards first-person shooters just because of the immersion. You feel like you're in the game versus, oh, I'm looking at a game, I'm playing a game, versus I feel like I'm in the game.
Well, it's a big question, guys, and there's a lot of, obviously with Ubisoft, I mean, they've had their issues over time, as with every studio with certain things. There's been issues with Ghost Recon. There's been issues, obviously, with games like Assassin's Creed that are massive, in scope and scale. The big question, though, is, guys, what do you think? Do you think that the third-person, shooter genre is going to kind of come back around in a major way at some point or another? Do you think it's going to be more FPS just moving forward? What do you guys think happened to Future Soldier that really met its demise? Do you think we're going to get another Ghost Recon at some point or another in the future? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Ghost Recon content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.